So the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, the world's largest, rural employment guarantee, that is actually an act. It's a law, and passed in our India 20 years back, and it has been sustaining the poorest of the poor in this country. It had promised and ensured that the rural households will get hundreds days of work, and that was a guarantee. Now the government has said, after 20 years, we are going to change the name and we are going to update it with technological advancement bringing into it, and will increase the number of days from 100 to 125 days. And all several organizations, including the MKSS, which actually identified the need for MGNREGA kind of legal protection and secured that right for the countryside people, also been demanding for like 200 days of work all over the years. From 100 days to guarantee they do, but then provide more working days. Now that the government is saying that we will give you an additional 125 days of employment, they're just changing the name, and they are updating it with the more sophisticated manner. Don't you think that technological advancement and the number of increasing dates will only help the people, and what is it in the name?
The truth is that this is only a name change and it is a repeal. The substance of this act that I have here, Anusha, is that it repeals the MGNREGA. Now, if they wanted to do technological advances, they've been doing it all through. Nothing prevents them from doing it within this act. Nothing prevents them from changing bits in the schedule in the act, from putting new procedures in, from using all the new technology that they want to. But what is it that they've really done in this act? They've said they will give 125 days, but where? The National Rural Employment Guarantee Act was a National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It guaranteed any rural Indian citizen universally the right to demand and get 100 days of employment per household anywhere in the country. Now, there are three, four, five changes in this, important ones that I'd like to outline. Number one, they are saying that the central government will decide where in the country the act will run. So that's immediately completely in their hands to decide to run. And this has been a debate in between. Earlier also the government has tried to restrict it to 3,000 blocks, 1,500 blocks, say it will be only in some districts. They have tried to restrict it. But everyone has fought it because there are poor people needing employment everywhere. So they may be larger in some numbers in some places and smaller in some places, but they want employment and they have nothing else to turn to but this. It's been a lifeline for them. The line that's been used for NREGA over and over again, that it's a lifeline for the rural poor, for the unemployed, for the underemployed in rural areas, which are huge in number. So I will read to you the operational section, the one that makes this whole act work. It's okay to say many things. I may say I aim to make a law that will make everyone in India rich. But how will I make them rich? How much money will I give them? How will I guarantee that? That's what a law should do. And they're using the word guarantee. So they are saying in section 5(1) of the act, save as otherwise provided, the state government shall in such rural areas in the state as may be notified by the central government. What shall the state government do? I'll read the whole thing to you and I'll break it up. The save as otherwise provided, the state government shall in such rural areas in the state as may be notified by the central government provide to every household whose adult members volunteer to do unskilled manual work not less than 125 days of guaranteed employment in a financial year in accordance with the scheme made under the act. All the latter part is fine. But just this part, just understand its importance. The state government has to, it's a burden on them, shall in such rural areas in their state as may be notified by the central government. So, yes, the central government will tell you which part of the state you have to give this guarantee of 125 days. Now, let's say tomorrow they say in Kerala, we will only give it in Wayanad district. In one district. And that too, we will only give it in Attapadi block because that's where the tribals are. Then is it a national rural employment guarantee? Is it a guarantee for Kerala? So that's 125 days guarantee where the central government says it. That's number one. So, number one, it is completely in their power to decide which part of the country they want to run it. So, earlier in Bengal, they had to go, and even the Supreme Court has said, start the work again. The High Court has said, Supreme Court has said. But now, under this law, they are free to do it wherever they like.
Very openly.
Completely openly. They've empowered themselves. Secondly, Section 4, subsection 5 of the Act says what? The central government shall determine the state-wise expenditure, state-wise normative allocation for each financial year based on objective parameters as may be prescribed by the central government. So I will decide, the state as a central government will decide how much money each state is going to get as per normative allocations, and what are the norms for those allocations? Decided by the central government. So
and those are not here.
Absolutely not. Tomorrow it can say the old 1972 BPL list, whoever's left. It can say whatever it likes. It can say we want to do where there is a disaster. They can say whatever they like. And there also those norms are being decided by themselves. So, number two, they are deciding the allocation. They are deciding how much. And they are deciding how much on their own norms. So, there is no objective criteria. The objective criteria, what was there before? The MGNREGA said any Indian rural citizen asking for work must be given work in 15 days, and otherwise they must be given an unemployment allowance, and if any number who demand work have to be given work. So there cannot be a budgetary allocation. The budgetary estimate has to be there as per the previous year's labor budget. But the allocation, if there is a need, if that year there is a drought or there's something else, you have to give more money. You have to give money until people reach that 100-day limit. That's your only cutoff. So it was a limited guarantee of 100 days, but it was a guarantee of 100 days. It was a guarantee. And that guarantee was based on what? Money. Without money, you can't give any guarantee. I'll say I'll make everyone rich. Where? I have to give that money to make them rich. Or I'll redistribute income. I have to do that. So here, this is a second provision, which is very important to understand. The third provision to understand is, let us say that they decide that in one district, they are going to give it, and they give a smaller allocation. Now, 125 days, the state is enjoined to do. So the allocation is not enough, and people are coming, and they have decided, they've notified that area in the state. What do they say about that? In the next section, section 4, subsection 6. Any expenditure incurred by a state in excess of its normative allocation. The state may decide on its own, let me give, last year so many people were asking for work, again they're asking for work, I have to give work. Shall be borne by the state government. They have to bear it. In such manner and by such procedure as may be prescribed by the central government. Even the state government's money, the central government will decide how it's to be spent. So that's the third. And the fourth thing, which in my opinion will mean, so what is left now? We should understand. We had a law, demand driven, where the central government was required to give the money to meet that demand. There they could make norms so that there wasn't corruption, so that technology could be used, so that planning would take place from the bottom, everything. Now they have destroyed that law. They've destroyed that legal guarantee because there is no demand-based guarantee. What have they replaced with? A scheme. They've called it
They called it a system.
Yes, it's a scheme. Well, even under a law you can have a scheme. But what is a scheme? The scheme has no guarantee behind it because it is the Viksit Bharat. I am empowering myself through the scheme. The government is empowering itself, not the people. The Viksit Bharat 2047 Gramin Ajivika Mission.
Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission.
Correct. VB Gram G. Yeah, because there also there is, for no reason at all, they are using a religious yeah, that's a connotation which is not correct. They should not use it in a scheme like this. So that's why we will say VBGRAMG. Yeah, that's what we will call it, like we called NREGA MGNREGA. So VBGRAMG says that now it's become a central government scheme, and they are free to decide how much to give, where to give, what to give for, what to drive. So it's a completely top-down scheme, like any central sponsored scheme, where they decide, okay, one fine day today we'll have it, and decide 6 days later we won't have it. It's in their hands to do that. That's what they've empowered themselves to do. I want to say we went to work in rural Rajasthan from where we raised this demand. And there used to be employment schemes. There was the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. There was the Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program. There was the Employment Assurance Scheme. All names, assurance, program, scheme. Never was there a guaranteed act. Act means I can go to court because you have not given me. I have a legal right. That's my right. Yeah, that's what made it work from the very first day. We found people used to get 5 days of work. They were promising 120 days. They used to get 5 days in a year, 6 days, 3 days in many panchayats after trying to get work. So it was a completely useless scheme as far as people were concerned. That's what we have returned to. That we must understand. But even for that scheme, they have now done something which, in our opinion, will not allow it to work at all. And that is under Section 22 of this Act, where they say, in essence, that the central government and the state government will have a 60-40 ratio in most parts of the country. Some hill parts, it's 90:10, northeastern states, hill states, but otherwise it's a 60-40 ratio, which means, firstly, I decide the area. Secondly, I decide the amount. Third, I decide that if you are going to spend more, I will tell you how you spend it. But even for that amount, I will only give you that amount if you give 40%. So what is this? What is this vis-a-vis the states? And they did not ask the states at all. They did not bother to ask the states. So I think the states will, all caste states, even the BJP states, are cash strapped. They have their own priorities. They are not going to easily do it. For instance, in the state of Rajasthan, roughly 10,000 crores comes every year. If they want to run it the same way, and 10,000 crores is proving to be too little. If they want to run it the same way, they will have to come up with 4,000 crores. So 4,000 crores is not easy to be able to get. Every state government has many pressures on it. In the case of Kerala, about 2,000 crores is the amount that Kerala spends, about 4,000 crores, but about 1,600 crores Kerala government will have to come up with. But depends on what the central government decides. Whatever the central government decides, you'll have to give 40%. Now, if they don't give it, the central government will say, we will not give this either. So there will be constant battles. So the entire act is a question of money. From the time that not just the BJP government, even the time of the Congress in UPA 2, there used to be severe reduction in allocations, and we had to fight all through the year, and then money came later, and came even in the next year. So people did not get their wages, but there was a component in the guarantee that if you don't get paid in 15 days, you will get wage compensation. Wage compensation and, by law, 0.05%. If you don't get work, you will get unemployment allowance. So that, and the central government had to say, yes, we are responsible, we will pay if we have not given money in time. So the entire law that we have here is really a very problematic law. It's a law that says guarantee, it gives no guarantees. It's a law that completely upends what we've done wonderfully well for 20 years. There have been many problems. Those problems that they have claimed, that they want to use technology, that they want to use better planning, that they have 4 areas of work that they want to follow. They want to follow for disaster management, they want to follow for water concentrating on water conservation and giving drinking water, water mission, all that's fine. All that could have been done within NREGA. But
And they have also said that, we will prioritize the disabled and the vulnerable
which
sections, which is already there.
absolutely,
It is their priority. They should be in the priority
and
list.
for instance, in Rajasthan, the Rajasthan government has passed already that disabled families will get 200 days employment, 100 days the Rajasthan government will give from its side.
Yeah.
So it's completely separate. Their money they give from their side, they think of how to do it. They've already done in Rajasthan 25 days from their own exchequer, 25 days extra for whoever gets it, and then they can decide how to plan their works. Here, everything will be as per central norms. So nobody is even going to give that. Then there is this provision of 60-day ban on works. Never been done ever. It was always a demand from large landowners and from contractors that in the crop season, in the high crop season. Now, most often in most parts of the country, NREGA, very little works ran. But they functioned as a kind of a minimum support price for wages.
Yeah.
Because people, if they got to pay too little, which was in many parts of the country, landless laborers paid very little even during agricultural season. Exploitative wages.
They have been also demanding for this MGNREGA to be directed for the.
Yeah, that has been another demand. So all these demands that came to dilute NREGA and go against the workers and bring back a feudal mindset.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you are paid by government to work on some landlord's farm.
Yeah.
What will he do? He'll send you to his house. He'll make you do everything that they used to do.
And the government will be paying.
Yeah, and the government will be paying and paying whatever wage, and he will take full advantage of you.
Yeah.
So imagine that we are kind of coming back to that same colonial, same feudal mindset where people will fold their hands. When NREGA came in, we worked in a drought hit state. Literally at that time before NREGA, people used to, when there was a drought, hundreds and thousands of people would sit outside the Sarpanch's house early in the morning. Because if muster roll would come for public works, there would be 1,000 people and it would come for 50. So they would be desperate to get on. They would fold hands, they would promise him, they would beg, they would give someone a small bribe out of that amount of money or a big bribe out of that amount of little money. And it was a pathetic situation. And that's when the demand rose, har haath ko kaam do, kaam ka pura daam do. Give work to every hand, give full wages to every work. Which is a powerful label demand. You've completely undermined work to every hand. You've undermined, and not one word on wages in the whole act. Not one word on minimum or fair wages. They've destroyed the labor codes on the other side. Through the labor codes, they have destroyed. There they have said we have a floor level national minimum wage. No mention of that here. If they would said that they were, so even where in those small parts and pockets where they will run it. So it is I would say the name and the claim is a fraud on the nation. The claim is, they start off in their introduction to this law by saying, I'll read it to you. That claim is such a fraud. To establish a rural development framework aligned with the national vision of Viksit Bharat. If this is the vision of Viksit Bharat, nobody wants it. The poor don't want it, the workers don't want it. By providing a statutory guarantee of 125 days of wage employment in every financial year to every rural household whose adult members volunteer to undertake unskilled manual work, to promote empowerment, growth, convergence, saturation for a prosperous and resilient rural Bharat and for matters concerned therewith. This part is great, but they're not doing it. And there is no sanctity in this part of the law because it's not operational. This is what they claim they are doing. That's why they are claiming they're bringing this bill. It's in contradiction with what the operational parts are. So it is like my going out tomorrow and saying, okay, come, all those who want work, come for work. And then as soon as they come, you say, okay, I will not only give you money, I will also give you sweets at the end of it. and I give them one toffee each and I give them 2 rupees each. I have given them work. This is even worse than that.
Even worse than that.
Because it is restricting by area, it is restricting by amount, it is restricting by, and with the states, it is really a very bad.
Yeah, especially the union government has been, deducting funds for the opposition party ruling states, and now they are already in a distress, struggling to manage their financial system going, to survive, to, sustain it actually.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, you are asking for another 40% for an act, which is already a guarantee.
And which you
will decide what to do, where to do,
Yeah.
and how many jobs you can
Yeah.
create, or we will give us.
Yeah,
And you will have to give us the money.
correct.
Yeah. So how do you see this along with now that you have mentioned about the labor law changes, seed bill is on the other hand, and then there is this trade relations with the UK and the US, which is massively developing towards that. And then there is this government which promised to provide us the employment. And when they were failed to generate that employment, they just changed the way of how one should be calculating the data. Data. They started diluting the data itself. They have changed the parameters altogether.
Correct.
So, they have also brought the Make in India thing. And then, the labor rights, like, let us just not talk about the labor rights or the peasants' rights and all. But what they are trying to do with this, although they have made all these promises and they are doing totally opposite, where are we currently heading to? How do we read or connect the dots together? What should we be understanding?
So there's a comprehensive attack, but this is a surprise, frankly. We didn't think this would happen. We knew they were attacking many things, like they've attacked RTI also, so that you don't, and they've attacked it in a very stealth manner. This is a frontal attack. I mean, it's still stealth in the sense it would have been much better actually, Anusha, if they had said, we are repealing MGNREGA, we don't believe in it. Finished. Then they could have run Viksit Bharat however they ran it. They did not need to go through all this of creating this whole framework. Framework. Why create this? This framework is not a law. It's a development program. That's your vision of a development program, run it. Which state wants to come with you will come, won't come. You can't by law mandate them to give 40%.
Yeah.
It should have said whichever state chooses to participate will have to give 40%. Fine. That's also not a law. You can do it by a scheme. So there is no need for this law at all. There's nothing that makes it necessary to put it in a legal framework at all. And in what you talk about, the whole comprehensive assault, this was a fallback. You're promising what jobs? NREGA is not a job. It's just a temporary employment guarantee or fallback. During COVID, what happened? You lost your job in a city and you walked hundreds of kilometers home. So you got this fallback. If this had not been there, you would have died of starvation.
Yes.
They
had to increase the budget.
Exactly,
in fact, in the
by
middle
40%.
Of it.
They had to increase the budget. So they know that this has great value, but they don't want to give money. It's a question of money. And money, not that they don't have, money is going to all the big pockets of all the big corporates. Everything is going for big, large infrastructure, for bullet train, for big highways. Highways you want to do, there's not one, there are 10 highways. They all get sanctioned and huge money goes off that because it's siphoned off right from the top. Everyone knows it. So open secret. Here, there is social audit. There's a watch on every rupee. If they were to take action on that social audit and if they were to do it, they have continued social audit in the new law. But on what? Social audit on what? There is no right that you are really going to audit in that sense. So the picture is very grim and the fallback has been removed. The safety net, if you call it, has been removed. So even though a safety net, we don't call it that because we think this is an empowerment program. It empowered women. For the first time, lakhs and crores of women came on the workforce who are getting salaries. They work in the fields, but their families don't get the money. They don't see the money.
Yeah.
Here, the money was in their accounts. They would go to the bank, they would take out the money, they would go and buy whatever they had to buy.
Yeah.
They were organizing, they would demand wages, they were gaining agency. Very sad.
So how MKSS is going to resist or uphold the
So,
barricade?
har haath ko kaam do, kaam ka pura daam do was where its slogan started. We are back at that slogan. That slogan continued because NREGA, as you said, was only giving 55 days.
Yeah.
Now it will be stronger, it will be louder. And those who have taken away a
Anyway,
right,
they haven't mentioned about the wages.
yeah, there's no wages, so wo pura daam tak we will
Be
fight.
asking,
We will fight for, but we will continue that battle. We started the demand when there wasn't any law. We have tasted the value of that law. Everyone else should have also seen it, even within government. Many bureaucrats know the value of what it was. Let's see. Let's see how much this is a political dispensation.
Yeah.
If we have been saying, many people have been saying, हमें बेरोजगार बनाएंगे तो हम उनको बेरोजगार बनाएंगे. If they put us out of a job, we'll put them out of their job.
Yeah.
So let's see.